Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Tonight's the night. It's going to be all right if I'm quoting the song correctly. Rod Stewart. Tonight's the night. Will it be Boozer? Will it be Peterson? Could it be Wilson? Could there be trades? There's already a big trade that set things up. Giannis is now a Miami Heat, and the Heat gave up a lot. Giannis and Bobby Portis to Miami. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and Jacusius, if I pronounce that correct. I think it's Kasperius Kapusius. Promising young guy. All go along with 3 first-round picks in a second. I almost want to say, in the long run, I think this is a good move for Milwaukee. It takes Miami out of the Ja sweepstakes. There are other teams that were mentioned in position maybe to trade for Ja, but they could go through this draft. There's so many good guards. Can Ja be moved? If you got Peterson tonight with the 3rd pick, if Boozer goes in the first 2 and Peterson's available, Peterson wants to be a 1. I have heard, I don't really know, we know the work ethic isn't quite like Kobe Bryant's, but I've heard him mentioned as a Kobe Bryant possibility. That good a player? If he is, he could be your 1. Do you make trades to get a 2? Do you move up? What will Zach Kleiman do? Will it occur during this draft, or will this be post-draft? This Giannis deal doesn't really get completed until July 6th. There is speculation that this could become multi-team, that it's not totally done. Those are already the principles. We know Giannis and Portis to Miami, all those other players and those picks going to Milwaukee. Could there be 3rd teams attached, 4th teams? Wasn't there like a 7-team trade just a couple of years ago along these same lines? What's going to happen tonight? Sacramento is a team that was interested in Ja, but they could get one through the draft. If you got Boozer, which is still probably the most likely, and you couldn't move 16 and 32 to get a pick, and honestly, knowing that you're not going to get much value for Ja, you got your big, you got, in Boozer, you got your 4, You've got Zach Edey, there's no Brandon Clark now, so you're missing bigs. Would you keep Ja Morant just because you don't want to get killed in value? And nobody wants to take on that $49 million per year. I don't know exactly what Zach Kleiman has in mind, but he's always got something. It's really going to be interesting. I love they're having that draft party downtown. It's free for everybody to go. I wonder if the place will be packed. It could very well be. It's funny, tonight the AutoZone Liberty Bowl will announce their new president. They got a thing going on at 5:30. Busy night downtown for sports in Memphis. That is for sure. But obviously everybody is thinking about, will it be Boozer? Will it be Peterson? Wilson, it's interesting. I hear so many differing opinions about Caleb Wilson. The one thing I don't hear a lot about that it always has been of value to me is the guy's a great defensive player. Part of that is this outrageous athleticism he has. I know he can't shoot the 3. I heard that a lot. I know it's all upside. He's not quite there yet. This might be a project. But he does play defense. He does have that athleticism. He was pretty good till he got hurt at North Carolina. But there are so many that just don't think he's got it. And I don't know if he's really in the mind of Zach Kleiman or not. He plays it close to the vest, that's for sure. But if you got Boozer or Peterson and you're in line to get either one of those two, I think you're good. If you do take Boozer, does it because you will lose so much value with Ja? Unless you are able to get Boozer and use 1632, maybe future ones, to move up to get Fleming's, Acuff. I don't think you can get high enough to get the kid from Illinois, Wagler. I just, but you need a guard if you're not keeping Ja. But maybe because you can't move him, you do keep him. I don't know. It seems like that bridge was burned, but if you just can't get killed on him. If you can move him, yeah, but you got to get something in return. Landon Schmidt, give me your insight on all of this. What do you think happens tonight?
Well, I think, and this might be a little bit of hopefulness from me as well, is I think what I've gathered from just about what everybody's saying with this draft is at that 3 spot, depending on who you get, whether it's Boozer or Darren Peterson, should he drop, that 16 pick, should you keep that, is probably going to go to like a Christian Anderson out of Texas Tech or something like that. You want to cover both of your bases, get a good big, and then you want to get a good point guard. But I know that of everybody in the early first round, of anybody who's looking to trade back, has been the Nets at pick number 6, which has been a speculation that a lot of people think the Grizzlies could trade that 16 pick and move up to 6. And if you do that, then you're looking at a Cam Boozer or a Darius Acuff as a combo taken on early in the draft, or you move from that 32 pick from the early in round number 2 and trade with some of these other teams like OKC at 12 or 17 or something like that, and just pick up a lot of people, because the talent is so incredible throughout the entirety of the first round. I think it's hard to mess up there. And then in the second round, it starts to drop off a little bit, which is why, teams like the Spurs or whatever are going to be really hard in drafting because they have a lot of second round picks.
Well, there's always a gem in the second round.
Yeah.
And Memphis has been very good at identifying those and moving up. Now, you could combine 16 and 32 with something. Santi Aldama, I don't know.
Yeah, Andy believes that Santi Aldama would be a great package because of his contract and just the player he is, that he could be a good package trade.
Combining a bunch of these things and trying to move up to get a guard.
I would think so.
And then who knows what you do with Ja.
I think we're definitely going to see movement before the draft takes place, like maybe like an hour before or something like we usually do.
You're right.
But in my hope, it would be that the Grizzlies move up and try to get more of this talent that's heavy up at the top.
The Giannis trade. He's got Bam Adebayo. They've got some other assets for sure.
But they lost.
But man, did they give up a lot? I think Milwaukee might have won this trade.
In the long run, I think they do, because I think it's the Heat putting a lot of eggs in one basket to say Giannis has got to be the guy, because they don't really have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of draft capital this year. I don't even know if they're making a pick this year. I can't remember exactly what the Heat are doing in the draft, but they would have to attack free agency. But where their cap salary is hitting right now, they don't have money to play with.
They gave up 3 first-round picks, too. And, Giannis is 31 years old. He's not like
this was a lot of faith.
He's got 4 or 5 years of prime.
Yeah, this was a lot of faith in him kind of move. Like this is either going to be good or it's going to bust, and it's going to be really bad.
And I don't know what happens with Ja. I know they want to move him, but I don't know if you cut your nose off to spite your face if you can't get any value for this guy.
Yeah, I think the number one thing I've heard about moving Ja is to go to Sacramento. But if Sacramento keeps their pick early in the round, they're looking at a Darius Acuff, and that's just
supposedly they're in love with Darius Acuff,
and that would be a fraction of the price too.
Oh yeah, $49 million you got to give up for Ja, a guy who's only played basically 27 games a year the last 3 years.
Yeah,
you got to do that? I
wouldn't.
That's very questionable. A guy whose attitude has not been very good. So. Crazy, but I cannot wait for tonight because we will know. You think Peterson will be available at 3? And if he is, wouldn't you grab him and he becomes your point guard? And then you work with 16 or 32 or a trade to get a big.
Yeah, the talent that is just within Darren Peterson is unbelievable. It would be ridiculous if he's there at 3 to pass him up.
So I'm pretty sure Devanza is going 1.
It seems unanimous at this point.
Okay, let's say that that's the case. You think Boozer would go ahead of Peterson?
I don't know. If the Jazz are still there to make that pick, if they don't trade or move around,
or somebody moves up to try to get Boozer,
if they do, that would be the only case I would think so, because you look at what happened last year. The Jazz never really needed Ace Bailey, but he was the best available player, and they just went and grabbed him anyways. So that's probably what they would do again with a Darren Peterson.
Well, but Utah has already got Jaron.
They have a lot of players.
They got a lot of bigs.
Yeah.
It would seem to me you'd want Peterson over Boozer. I'm thinking the only way Boozer is at 2 is somebody moves up to get him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If the Jazz are not there to make that number 2 pick, that's the only way I see one of those top 3 shift.
So the odds are pretty good it'll be Boozer, and you got to figure out a way to get a guard.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of assets to try to move.
And I think you can still get a really decent guard at 16.
Who would be available, you think? Let's face it.
A lot of people are saying...
Acuff's gone.
Yeah,
Wagler's gone.
Early.
Brown's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Fleming's is gone.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people have been saying Christian Anderson out of Texas Tech would be that guy at that spot. Andy Schiffman guys. Ben Sturtz has also been in the mix a little bit too, of being a guy who would be there. I still think there's a few options at that 16 spot.
If I'm
they're not as good.
I'm trying to make every move I can to get rid of Ja, to package up and get any of those 4 guards I just mentioned. The guy that I trust the least is Brown from Louisville.
Yeah. Well, even then, if you were still around that 16 area, a guy like LeBaron Philon Jr. could still be there.
Yeah. And Philon's a great player. There's no doubt about how good he is. Now, he could be around at 16. I agree with that. Philon could be around at 16. I guess I have this feeling just based on the past history and the tight-lippedness of the Grizzlies brass. They're going to make a move with 16, 32, maybe future picks to try to move up to a guard so they can clearly get rid of Ja and still have that position covered.
Yeah.
And there's enough talent up there. If you can pull that off, and it's going to be a whole different team next year.
Oh, it will be.
If they were to get Boozer and one of those guards, I would think it's a reasonable expectation for next year to be a 5 or 6 seed. To make the playoffs is a 5 or 6 seed. I think that would be a reasonable expectation, knowing that Coward's going to be even better. But all of this is based on Zach Edey being healthy too.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And you would not have any kind of distractions like John Morant if you make all these moves. It'll be fun to watch, and I hope to have a big crowd there for the watch party. That is for sure. There is big news happening today on the PGA front. Brian Rowlett may still be speaking as we sit here. And we have not heard anything on the future of the Memphis event. That is a little bit troubling. We did hear, after some hesitation, about FedEx. They asked him point blank about FedEx, and the way he hesitated and then answered about how he's trying to make the PGA Tour more valuable, as Brian Rowlett, the CEO, for every sponsor, makes me think FedEx's participation as the lead sponsor, FedEx Cup, playoff championship trophy, all FedEx, might not be there. I don't know. And if that's the case, what is the future of the Memphis tournament? There have been some tournaments identified as clearly being on the schedule for 2028. Memphis has not been, at this point, not been mentioned. Here's the championship series. There are going to be 15 to 16 what they will call regular season events. Those are full fields, which is 120 with cut, because Brian Rowlett made this very clear, and I like this, and the players want this. The PGA Tour is a meritocracy. In other words, you got to earn it. And that's what they want. So they're going to be 120-man fields. There will be a cut, and the purses are a minimum of $20 million. There's two series now. There's the Championship Series, not to be confused with the Champion Series. That's the seniors. The Championship Series and the Challenger Series. No more Korn Ferry Tour. This is now sort of a major league. I don't know, because $20 million for the Championship Series, that's the purse. The purse for the Challenger Series, $4 million. That's quite a difference. There will be 144-man fields for the Challenger Series. How you become a Challenger member has not yet been determined. They're still working on that formula. We know with this Championship Series, the top 90 players at the end of the year keep their card. 20 end up getting promoted from the Challenger Series, so the top 20 at the bottom move up. By the way, if you win 2 Challenger Series, you're immediately elevated to the Championship Series. There will be 10 more that will come from Q School, or the feeders from the different other tours. Q School, and I forget what it is, PGA's Americas, or whatever it's called. So that's 90, 20, and 10. There's your 120. And it's 16 regular season events, 4 majors, the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, one of those each year, and then the Players' Championship. And you're going to have, I think if I do my math right, and it's 24, you'll have 2 playoff rounds. The playoffs are now going to be match play. And there will be retention and relegation involved in all of this. We know next year the championship event will take place in Eastlake. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 playoff events, but we know next year still Eastlake, because this thing all begins in 28. After that, they're going to rotate to what they say championship venues, maybe major venues that are only used for majors that will end up being used for the championships of the playoffs, whatever they're called. If they're going to be still FedEx Cup, we don't know. A lot of stuff going on here, and you're a little bit nervous because if FedEx is no longer the title sponsor, how much clout does Memphis have? And it's been made pretty clear by players they don't want to be here in August. So maybe this thing does get moved to May. I think FedEx really prefers it to be in May for their calendar and entertaining their clients. The only bad thing about doing it in May, because I love the weather in May a whole lot better. I'd rather watch a golf tournament in May. The only negative to that is TPC Southwind cannot be in its best shape in May. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. Technology is great, but Mother Nature is still the strongest ingredient here. And if you don't have 70-degree nights, you can't grow the kind of grass that you need. Now, maybe they make some of this ryegrass. I don't know. It's all different types of grasses. You do have the hybrid Bermudas on the green, but you have different grasses in the fairways, and they don't grow that well in April and early May. So, I think if you can accept that the condition of the golf course will not be as good as it is in August, but the weather is better in May, and you can still make it playable enough, not like it was, then that'll be the remedy. And then the next thing is going to be, what is the FedEx involvement? They haven't listed the cities. They say they want to move to more major markets. So I don't know really where all this is. I would feel better if Memphis had been listed in this thing. Unfortunately, it has not. And I don't know. If you're not on the Championship Series, the Challenger Series just looks like a glorified Korn Ferry Tour. But if there's going to be relegation and retention, maybe it does make it more interesting. Brian Rolapp, and by the way, Tiger Woods spoke. He introduced Brian Rolapp today. So he's back from rehab. I did not see him. I've been searching for pictures. But our friend Joe Dank, who will be with us tomorrow morning, he did see him, and he said he looked really healthy. So maybe we're seeing Tiger come around. That would be nice. Obviously, he was the chair of this futures competition committee that did all of the work on this, that is now being slowly revealed because they haven't figured everything out yet. But they've been late at getting this out, so I think they must have felt some pressure that we got to do something here. And they did. So I guess we're going to have to sit on pins and needles to figure out where Memphis ends up. We do know it's August this year. It'll be probably August next year because 2028 is when all this begins. Where will the Memphis tournament be, if there's a Memphis tournament, when all of the dust is settled? Because it's not yet. But this is interesting stuff. The PGA Tour, and he made this point, and I agree with him on this. Because of the way we all now watch television, we record shows, we stream shows. Live television, sporting events, really the only live TV. There may be one soap opera that's live, I don't know. For the most part, the only live television is sporting events. And there is definitely a need by networks to sell their advertising to sponsors. Sponsors want people that are watching live. That is the number one thing. So they're trying to make their product as attractive as they possibly can while there is still this need for live advertising on live events. And I give them credit. I do. And I'll be sad as can be if Memphis loses this event. Wouldn't it be awful if this event went to Nashville? Because they're talking about bigger markets. They didn't mention Nashville today, but they have in the past. But I give them a nod because they are trying at this time to become as relevant as they possibly can. And they are changing things a lot here. And this is all to become even more relevant. And it takes a lot when you've got a fairly successful product to try to make it better. It's an interesting concept that they're doing here. It's not a definite win, but it's an attempt. And I don't blame them at all. I really don't. So we'll see how all of this ends up. We got Ron Higgins coming your way next. We'll talk a little bit about this. And how about Oklahoma? Oh, I got to give Landon Schmidt. I'd give you a gold. What did you say yesterday?
It would be Oklahoma. Got to watch out for them.
Because of their bats. North Carolina had exhausted all of their pitching. There are two top guys that got clobbered yesterday. They had to bring them in early. They shouldn't have been pitching. They didn't have enough rest.
Yeah.
They got creamed. Do you know what Oklahoma finished in the SEC this year?
Weren't they? I know they were low, like 8th or something.
No. 11th.
11th.
They were under 500.
Yeah.
They were 14-16 in the SEC, and they win the national title.
Yeah, I think somebody put a reference to that of saying that would be the equivalent of Rutgers winning the national championship last year.
It's crazy.
That is wild.
They're under 500. They're 11th in their league, and they win the national title.
They chose the right time to get hot.
Wow. I mean,
they were way too hot.
Well, it just shows you how good the SEC is, too. The 11th-place team ends up winning the national championship. Yeah. Talk with Ron Higgins about that. We end our week with Tuesday. Excuse me. Where am I? This is what happens when you go on vacation.
I get it.
We end our Tuesdays with Munzie, right?
We do. Yes.
Award-winning beat writer for the commercial appeal of the Tigers. We're going to talk a lot about Nemanja Popovic, the 24-year-old European who some people have said his presence could make this team a Sweet 16 team. I don't know if I'm buying that, but I'm loving it if that's the case. We'll talk with Munzie a little bit later in the program as I sit here in the Family Leisure Studios, and I remind you, We got the ultimate pool party. It's still going on probably till July, and then there'll be the 4th of July party. It's all good. Above ground pools, they start at under $4,000. The in-ground pools, yes, they're doing those now. Under $50,000. They're state-of-the-art. All in-stock patio furniture is priced to move. You can get a 5-piece patio furniture set starting at under $1,000. You get a free umbrella and base with select patio furniture sets. And you mention us, you get $200 off your pool or your spa purchase. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. You're going to love what you see. It's the pool party going on. It's the ultimate pool party at Family Leisure. We go to Baton Rouge momentarily. Our SEC historian, Ron Higgins, is standing by, and he comes your way in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you've paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 total new vehicle retail sales report in Memphis market.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Whitten Road.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises. Just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle. And at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Right in the Baton Rouge momentarily. I don't know if you've been watching any of the World Cup, but the thing I'm loving about it, all the stars are like producing like crazy. For instance, Lionel Messi for Argentina, and they could win this whole thing. He had 2 goals yesterday. So the guy now has scored in his last 6 straight World Cup games. He now has 18. That's the most by 2 of anybody. Kylian Mbappe, The French star, he had 2 yesterday. He's got 16. He's trailing Messi. Then there's the guy from Norway. He looks like a Viking.
Holland.
Yeah. Erling Haaland. He had 2 goals yesterday in the Norway win over Senegal, I think. Let me make sure. I think so. It was Senegal, 3-2. Yeah. Senegal was hanging around. They had a chance.
They did, yeah.
That was interesting. It's just a lot of fun. It really
is.
And truly is. All right, let's head down to Baton Rouge. Our man, Bron Higgins, our SEC historian, is standing by. And what does it say to you that a team under 500 in league play, Oklahoma, team that finished 11th in the regular season of the SEC, is now your national champion? That's an incredible story. Good morning.
It really is. It just goes to show you how really good this league is. When Ole Miss won it a few years ago, they came out of nowhere to win it too. And it shows you how good this league is. Oklahoma's 14-16 in league play. It's like a tie for 11th, I think, along with Vanderbilt. The only teams behind them are Kentucky, LSU, South Carolina, Missouri. And, Kentucky was in the NCAA, but LSU, South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt weren't. So you can consider Oklahoma really the bottom of the barrel as far as the teams that made the NCAA, and they end up winning the thing. And it shows you get hot at the right time. They've made a commitment to baseball. Being in the SEC, they're building a brand new multi-million-dollar complex for baseball.
Oh, they don't even have that right now? They're just doing it? Wow.
Yeah, they're doing it. Yeah,
we should point out that before they were in the SEC, they were still pretty good in baseball. In 1994, they did win the College World Series. So they've been a champion before. They did that when they were 94. Was that the Big 12 or the Southwest Conference? I think that would be the Big 12 then.
I think Big 12, I think, yeah. So they did it before, but, they haven't been there in a while. And just the fact that they're made a commitment to make their facilities better tells you something about when you're in the SEC, you have to raise your level of your game in every way. It includes facilities. And they're doing that. And now they got something to back it up with. They played really well. They got everything they needed this thing. Everything fell their way. They were much better than North Carolina was, even though Carolina won the second game. I think playing the SEC just gets you ready for the College World Series. A lot, we talk about SEC coaches, they say, playing in Omaha is like playing in the SEC every weekend. You play a team that's probably going to be in Omaha, and in the end, you're going to have to beat them 2 out of 3 and they win a national championship. And we do that every weekend, the SEC. I think it prepares them. That's why this league is, I think now won 7 in a row under 6 different teams. And
crazy.
That the league kind of prepares you for the postseason.
It obviously does. Here's the craziest thing. When I was listening on ESPN to the experts when the College World Series field was announced, and there were a couple of guys that said that they liked North Carolina because of the way their pitching would set up, that they had the best pitching. And if you look at what occurred, Oklahoma's lineup was just relentless. Their bats, as you said, got hot at the right time. They kept hitting the ball. And North Carolina's pitching just absolutely got tired, got fatigued. They had to use 2 guys last night that weren't ready to go. They had to use them early in the game. And once they were out, because one guy walked 4 guys, that was it. They were done. They never had a chance. And this comes from a team that finished tied for 11th in the SEC. They get 5 in to begin with, and they had to earn their way because they had to win regionals and sub-regionals to get there, super regionals. But 5 out of the 8 there, your odds are pretty good you're going to win.
Yeah. Somebody should win, and an SEC team got through, but I don't think it was the one anybody expected. Everybody thought it'd probably be Georgia or Texas. And they kind of knocked each other off. And Oklahoma slipped through there, and just kept winning. And we give them credit, man.
Yeah.
Give them credit. So that's good. It's gives another SEC team a baseball title, another different team that hadn't won it before while they were an SEC member.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal. That's what people want this league. I mean, the intent of the whole SEC, if you talk about people who run it, is that they want all their schools to be good in something. I mean, this would be football or basketball. They want to be good in something. In some sport, they won't be contended for a national title. So this is what they like. I mean, Oklahoma won the gymnastics championship too, national title. So this is what they like. They like teams to, if you can't win in football or basketball, women's basketball, like everybody that has some major sports, win something else. And that's why this league works. That's why they have revenue sharing.
Let's see. Mississippi and Mississippi State have won in the last 6-7 years, right?
Tennessee,
LSU, now Oklahoma, LSU. That's 5 right there.
LSU won twice.
So have they won the last 6 championships, the SEC?
Yeah, I think somebody won before LSU won. See, Mississippi State, I got to go through my head. Florida's got to be in there somewhere, or they won one.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean,
and Arkansas, which is always really good, still hasn't won one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Vandy won. Vandy's in there.
Vandy won.
Yeah.
There you go. Vandy's in there. So you look at this league, and anybody, again, if you get the NCAA tournament from the SEC, you got a shot because you're battle tested. It all depends on the matchup you get and, how your things hold together, and if you're on the upswing. If you get hot going into the postseason, you got a pretty good shot. But it's a marathon now. I mean, the College World Series is not easy. I mean, it's a marathon, and you got to have the pitching to hold up, and you've got to. I mean, it's an advantageous for you to kind of, go through the bracket unscathed till you get to the finals to save your pitching.
Yeah, and that's what happened with UNC. They ran out of pitching.
Yeah,
much to the surprise of a lot of people. Okay, congratulations to Oklahoma. You reminded me earlier today from your stint in Memphis, and you still keep your finger on the pulse here. This is the 40th anniversary of Bo Jackson in Memphis with the Chicks.
Yeah, about that.
Wow.
It just seemed like yesterday, man. He came through here, came through Memphis, and still say here, I'm in Memphis, and Tim McCarver Stadium. Remember the first game? I walked in the press box, and Peter Tork of the Monkeys was sitting there. Like, what's this guy doing here? They played in town. You want to see Bo Jackson play. Bo Jackson's first hit was he beat out a ground ball. That's how fast he was. And then you proceed all summer to do some of the most remarkable things you've ever seen in a baseball game.
Well, he hit one over the right field light standard. That one I will remember forever. That was, I've seen some deep shots. I saw Dave Kingman hit one out of Wrigley Field onto the roof of the building next door. It was well over 500 feet. And Bo Jackson, I think that shot to right field over the light standard had to be in that proximity.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the night guy was on third, tagging up at third base, and he both played right field, and then they hit a ball toward the right field line. He catches it just inside the line. He plants his foot and turns and throws it on the rope to home plate for an out. And everybody's like, I mean, the opposing manager was so stunned, he didn't even bother to argue the call. He's like, yeah, he got him. That stuff was the norm, man. It was just, I just think of, when I think of times in Memphis in the summer, I think of, Bo Jackson coming through. Michael Jordan year he came through.
I was just going to say that. Michael Jordan playing for the Birmingham Barons. We had some great moments at the old Tim McCarver Stadium, which, when I first came here, this is in 81, the city loved going to those games. I mean, it was AA, and they were Montreal's farm club. Then they got involved with Kansas City when Bo was here. But people would come to those games. They would pack Tim McCarver Stadium. Now I don't think it's held more than 7,000-8,000, but it was something.
Yeah, it really was. Memphis had a lot of stuff going on this summer. I mean, Lewis versus Tyson was on the edge of summer. That was a great event. And, of course, my favorite, the Bluff City Classic, which was just a cultural event for Memphis every year, it seemed like.
Well, you had all those basically great college stars that were coming to play for the Tigers, or they would play in the area and they would compete, and they would compete hard at which Verde Sales Gym, which wasn't then Verde Sales Gym, it was Shelby State. But those were great summers. The Tyson Lewis fight, oh, what a magnificent night that was in the old pyramid.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of things going on this summer in Memphis back then.
Yeah.
It was always great, to have that because it kind of got you through the football season. Because right now you're kind of if you're a college sports fan, you're kind of a dead period right now where there's nothing really going on. College baseball ended, and you're kind of waiting for the football media days to crank up in about a month. So you just kind of this dead period. But I always loved Memphis because there was something going on all summer, whether it was like, the Memphis Rockers, the basketball
I love that
team.
league. Yeah, 6'5" and under.
The 6'5" and under league.
You know who the commissioner of that league was?
Steve Earhart.
Steve Earhart. That is correct.
And I always crack up because all these guys are 6'5", and if they weren't 6'5", you couldn't get in the league. So, but they one time they could measure basketball humps. It wasn't 6'5". And so Tom Lasaki, the Rockers coach, tells him, "Hey, Pat, why don't you go and do some squats in the weight room and then hang from a bar? We'll be measured."
Oh, they cheated so bad. Come on.
No, it was unreal.
I'm trying to remember. The guy with the great name from Memphis passed away now. He was 6'7" or 6'8" as a Tiger. And somehow Baskerville Holmes, yeah.
Yeah, Baskerville Holmes, yeah.
Somehow he ended up 6'4"3/4. That was always amazing to me.
It's hilarious. It was hilarious.
Another historian and a friend of yours, Phil Stukenberg, also from your paper, The Commercial Appeal at the time, says national TV broke in to cover Bo's first professional at bat. How about that? These are great memories.
Also, all those national people that came here to town, they discovered sixth beat writer George Willis, who before we knew it was going on to New York to get a job with Newsday, because all these networks saw him on TV and they saw how well spoken he was and how sharp he was, and they gave George the break to go to New York. He spent his career in New York writing for various publications.
That's right.
Even benefited the media.
I love George Willis. He is a good guy.
Good human being, really is.
Yeah. Ron Higgins, you're a good human being too. We always enjoy talking to you. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
All right, Wolo, take care. We'll see you.
Thank you. That's our man down in Baton Rouge. He's brought to you by a place he loves. That's Miramichi, 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis. I know you say Millington. No, it's in Woodstock. It's 25 minutes away. When you go there, you're going to see all this natural beauty. You pull into the driveway, you're looking at forest and hills, manicured hills too. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Practice facilities, the best of any public course, better than most country clubs. That's the truth. They got it all. The huge driving range. They've got sand trap practice area, chipping practice area, the biggest putting green you ever saw. It's fantastic. Great clubhouse, the greatest view. This deck that's over 9 and 18, best, I think, observation place in all of Shelby County. And then you got the golf course, which hosts college tournaments, junior tournaments on the highest level of competition. And then there's tee boxes for guys like me. You can go over 7,000 yards. You can play 5,500, whatever you want. It's gorgeous, and it's great golf. It's in great shape right now. Go to Miramichi and tell them we sent you. Back in a minute, Munsey from the Commercial Appeal on this incredible new power forward that the Tigers have picked up that make them maybe a national team. We'll see in a minute with Munsey.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn Broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Kohl's deal days are right on time. Summer arrives and suddenly you need shorts that fit, flip-flops that survive the pool deck, a bath towel that isn't secretly your beach towel. Get up to 50% off at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, plus daily deals, free shipping, and instant Kohl's Cash. Now the only thing left on your list is having fun. Select styles, exclusions apply. No purchase necessary to get instant Kohl's Cash. While supplies last. Ends June 28th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Here we go just south of the border. Jason Mudge from the Commercial Appeal joins us now. I've known for a while that there was a possibility a European pro was maybe coming on board. Now we know his name is Nemanja Popovic. The story broke because of Jason Munz. He's a guy from Europe. He played in Poland last year, Serbia before that, 24 years old. Give me your thoughts when you first found out about this and just how important this particular acquisition might be for Penny Hardaway's team. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, like once I got the name, I guess about a month ago now, started really looking into it, and you know, I mean, like this was the direction things have been heading for a while. But when I started digging into it, it was kind of like you see things and you think to yourself, well, surely, there must be some sort of catch here. There's like he's putting up 14-7 in a Polish league, in a professional league in Poland this past year, and like that's really strong. But like, how strong is the league? And he's first team all league. He got first team all league honors in this league, and there are very few video highlights out there that are like super recent. There are some, but they're sort of few and far between. And so, you're kind of scratching your head a little bit and you're thinking, how good is the competition? And then you start looking at the roster that he played on. And one of his teammates was Jeremy Roach, who was a guard at Duke and finished his career at Baylor. Very, very highly skilled player in college here. He was a teammate of Nemanja's at this place. Also, his backup was Malcolm Dandridge.
And so like there, and then, subsequently I talked to some people who, follow international basketball very, very closely for a living, actually. And, like the way it was explained to me was this league is a grown man, physical, albeit like largely unathletic, but still like an older league that's very physical, that's very skilled. And so like the person who was telling me this is basically saying that like, because he played so well there, you can reasonably expect that he would be a quote impact type player at the collegiate level. Now, the other thing here is like the big sort of question mark here with him is like, will he be eligible? He as you mentioned, he's 24 years old now. He will turn 25 in December. He's never played a single minute of college basketball, so Memphis is very confident that he will be eligible, but the final word is still out. They're sort of awaiting confirmation from the NCAA that he will be eligible. But the way things are nowadays, even if the NCAA comes back and says, well, no, he's not eligible, well, as we all have seen and understand by now that is not the final word ever. If you want to take the legal route, you certainly can, and usually you prevail. The student athlete prevails in those circumstances. But Nemanja Popovic is officially enrolled as a student at the University of Memphis as of last week, and all signs point toward him being a Tiger. And if that's the case, if it does work out that way, based on people I've talked to and what I've seen with my own eyes, you can expect, as I said, an impact type player who I think raises the ceiling for this team just by himself.
Here's where my worry comes in.
Yep.
Aren't they in the next 2 weeks going to vote on this new 5-year eligibility? 24 is 19 to 24. You get 5 years. I don't know how many years this kid could get because he's never played a minute of college basketball. The fact that he's enrolled, maybe he gets grandfathered in. I don't know. But if they take into the vote here this new 5-year eligibility and it takes place immediately with the 24-year age limit, maybe the season starts before he's 25. I don't know if that means something, but that sort of muddies up the water, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, these are all questions that are still, I think, like a lot of people are still looking for the answers to these questions. Yes, he is 24 right now, and so that 5-year clock, like by the letter of that rule, that is still. It needs to be pointed out that rule is still just a proposed rule. It's not been voted on. It's not been passed. Although it is expected to be to go up for a vote next week. So and like as you mentioned, it remains to be seen whether did the fact that Popovich formally enrolled as a student at the University of Memphis before the rule was passed, does that get him in under the wire, and does that rule not necessarily apply to him even though he hasn't yet played any college basketball? We don't know. But he turns 25 in late December. I think it's December 30th or December 31st or maybe 29th, somewhere around there is when he turns 25. So yeah, these are all questions that we still need answers to, as far as whether or not that rule would apply to him, whether or not that rule is actually going to pass next week. It's expected to, but I guess anything's possible until it's actually passed. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see on some of that.
All right, let's assume he gets a year, because I don't think Memphis would have publicized this. And they really haven't made the statement. But you get the sense that they're going to get a year out of him if they do. What does his addition to the roster mean to this team?
Okay, so he's a 6'8", power forward, true power forward. Like he's a physical, like put together, physically mature, strong power forward. Like he does not shoot the ball very well. His mid range and he's not a 3-point shooter, like really at all. But around the rim, he is a force, and that is both scoring and defense and rebounding. He is a force inside of 15-ish feet. And so what he does is he slides right into that fourth spot in the lineup, and he makes he to me the way I look at it is he makes everybody else fit a little bit better into the roles they were going to be playing. As it was before Popovich, as it was, you were looking at playing a little bit smaller. Like you were looking at probably playing Rahard Zavers is probably your starting 3 and Tyleek Weeks is probably your starting 4. Something like that. A bit of a smaller lineup with some better shooting. Like, don't get me wrong, like that lineup would have had a lot more shooting, a lot more floor spacing and things like that with Zavers on the floor. But by adding Popovich, potentially adding Popovich, you get bigger, you get more physical, and your front court is significantly bolstered, and it frees up Weeks to be more of a like an attacker guard type player than he would have had to have been otherwise.
All right, so let's go over the starting lineup. And I guess you start with the kid that was at USF initially in Jaden Reed. He's your point guard, right?
Yeah, Jaden Reed's your starting point guard, and I think Brandon Cummings is probably your favorite to be the starting 2.
That's a kid from
guard.
Pitt.
Yeah, 6'3" guard, shoots it well, does a lot of things very well. So he's probably your starting 2. Tyleek Weeks, who was the Sun Belt leading scorer in the Sun Belt last year at Southern Miss, I would expect him to be your starting 3. And then I would say Popovich is your 4. And, the 5 is sort of it's a position battle. It's a true position battle. It's going to be between Maxime Logie, the guy who was at FAU last year, and Cornelius Williams, who's been a top flight rebounder at North Alabama the last 2 seasons. Those two are kind of neck and neck so far.
Logie has a body like Duran.
Yeah, he's not as big, tall, and he's not necessarily as thick, but yes, he's very well put together.
And then Zavers would come off the bench first?
I think that is like a game by game thing. Like, is Josh Holloway going to be first off the bench? I think Rahard Zavers is going to play a lot, and he may even start some games. I don't know, but I would say he comes off the bench a lot. Julius Stedford, I think, will be in contention for that 6th or 7th man job, and then I'm hearing good things about Luke Almodovar and Cello Jackson.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. And then of course Cornelius, whoever doesn't start at the 5 will also play significant, meaningful minutes.
Man, you got me excited. What's the ceiling for this thing?
I mean, it depends. If Popovich, comes in and he's as advertised, then I think this could be a second weekend team.
Ooh, you're saying Sweet 16 to me, Muncie.
Well, listen, I thought the roster as it was an NCAA tournament roster.
Yeah.
So you add somebody like him, and I think it raises the ceiling. But we'll see. He's never played college basketball and all that stuff, but he is fluent in English, so you don't have to worry about that hurdle.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So it's got potential, Wolo.
I love
Big
it.
Potential.
He's the one and only Munzie. We'll talk next week. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
That is Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal. He's been brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. If you want that dream home, you know where to go. He's got the wisdom 3 generations. Ken Sr., Ken Jr., who runs it now, and then there's William He's in the business now. They've got the eye. They see little detail, big picture all at once. They've been doing this for 40 years. Go to KenGarland.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. Then call Ken. He's fun to talk to. If you are looking for land, he can help you there. If you've got land, you're not sure how to utilize it, use the wisdom of the Garlands. They do it so well. If you want to renovate because you love your lot, but you want modern amenities, renovation with innovation, that's what I call it. There's only one place to go. For the dream home or the renovation with innovation, you got to go to Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. I believe Johnny Radio is back in the house. He comes your way in a minute. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.